to Celebrate Creating with Catherine. Today we are going to make a couple of side dishes that are quick and easy to prepare. Or are they? One I've already made, the other one we're going to try for the first time. So today we will need cabbage, also known as cabbage. We will need a potato, which I've already peeled, though I know that's a disappointment for some of you. The joy it would have been to have watched me peel this potato. Learn to live with disappointment. Okay, cutting board. And this time I got one that has a little rubber end, so it won't be sliding like my last video. Check that out. Nice. A knife. Cookie sheet. A bowl for mixing, and some spices. We have black pepper, salt, onion powder, and garlic powder. And of course, you can actually do whatever you want. So we're going to start with our cabbage recipe. This is roasted cabbage. As I slice up about half of this, because that's about how much will fill our cookie sheet, I will tell my story, or lack of story, about cabbage growing up. Never had cabbage growing up. Never heard of cabbage growing up. I think the first time I ever tasted it was probably something like Kentucky Fried Chicken, disgusting beyond belief coleslaw. Like, really? Disgust. So after that, never. And this, you know, we didn't grow up with cabbage in our Italian family. And when I came to Oregon, however, as an adult, I tasted cabbage for the first time just sort of like steamed or something. And, yeah, it was okay. You know, it was edible. I wasn't in love with it or anything. But I've been reading how good it is for us to eat cabbage. So I found a recipe online of roasted cabbage. And I tweaked it a little. My knife is really sharp, can you tell? I tweaked it a little and just made it easier all the way around. So first thing we're going to do, I've just sliced my cabbage, and now I'm just going to cut it into long strips. Super easy. But anyway, when I found this recipe online, I thought, this is really good. I actually can say that I like cabbage, and before that I would have said, eh. So if you haven't really cared for cabbage, you might want to just give this one a try. And you know, some people who are trying to cut grains out of their diet, you know, you could use something like this instead of pasta. God forbid! Nothing can replace pasta, but seriously, if you had to, you could. Alright, so, you know what, I forgot to add one thing to my table, the olive oil. So I'm going to put all this in here and on the table. It's, you know, both places. And I'm going to go grab my olive oil. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm leaving and I'm coming back. I'm here. Okay. Alrighty then. Alright, so basically, as far as the amount of olive oil, you just want to coat it. So, let's see. And I'm not going to give you an approximate. If you do an entire head of cabbage, expect a couple of trays of cookie sheet trays full. So I'd say that's a good amount of olive oil. So I have my cabbage coated in olive oil. And this is what we're going to do. Now I could have sliced my cabbage a little more, but you know, it shrinks a lot anyway. Just not a big deal. Simply just going to lay it out here on my cookie sheet. Now, since the potato is going to be cooking at about the same temperature and about the same amount of time, I'm just going to shove my potato here at the edge of the cookie sheet just for the video's sake. Alright, so got it kind of flattened out here, and I'm going to put some garlic powder. And really, you know, you do this to taste. Onion powder. Now pepper, that really can get peppery fast on this. So if you're going to use pepper and you don't, either skip it if you really don't like pepper, or light, unless you like a lot of a peppery taste, because it really kind of peppers pretty quick. Alright, so not too much. And as far as salt, this is so easy to oversalt that I really recommend, you know, you might want to skip it or put barely any. You can always add it. I'm just going to put hardly any. That's it. And later this will all be mixed. So once you oversalt it, then you have to cut the rest of the cabbage and try to mix it in, which I've had to do before because it was just too salty, too quick. Alright, so that's it for the cabbage. Now this will be roasted for about 40 minutes-ish, 30 to 40 at about 400 degrees. So after about 20 minutes, I just stir it and I check it, and then I usually put it not in the middle rack, but the one right above. So we'll see how that works with putting the potato in at the same time. And then it's going to get kind of browned on the edges, and you don't want it obviously burning. So while that's sitting here, I'm going to go for the potato. Now, this will be interesting. I saw this recipe like on a Facebook post, and oh, here was this potato, and it looks so easy, right? And it dawned on me last night, I think this was originally done with some sort of potato slicer, because in the video it was like these perfectly thin slices, exactly, you know, exact. Okay, I don't even have the words. That's how exact it was. And then you're supposed to not cut it all the way through. Well, you know what? I'm a real person. So let's see if this can even be done. Okay? Here we go. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's going to work. Could be an epic fail. So you slice, but you don't go all the way through. Alright. They were thin little slices. It's tricky! Tricky. So far, so good. So far, so good. Oh! Almost went through. Alrighty. Doing better than I thought. Although I really still think it might have been a slicer. Alright, so it's... Okay. Okay. It's happening. I've managed. I've told my husband, which many times, which he already knows, I'm somewhat slicing challenged, so if I look like I am, it's because this is not one of my best things. Alrighty. Get all the way through this baby. Now normally this one's cooked at about 425 degrees. And I lost a slice. But it's so close, I'm just going to put them both in at the same time. Can I get through the other half? Yeah. Okay, well, I'm surprised. It's doing pretty good. Let's switch sides here. See if I can get all the way. Oh, there goes another one. A little bit harder. Oh, she cut it off. She screwed it up. Okay, but all these are sliced. Alright, you know what? See, I was trying really hard. And now it's just too small to cut, I think. But let's see if I... Yeah, she cuts it off. She cuts it off. Alright, so see, this is what happens when a real person does it without a slicer. It's called... It's sliced. Alright, so these are all sliced. What the heck? I'm just going to put them on the cookie sheet. And you know, see, not everything is as easy as they make it look. You see this beautiful recipe, you're like, oh, that looks so easy. Well, it is pretty good. I did pretty good. Now, all I'm going to do is drizzle. That's what they say to do. So let's see if this even tastes good. Drizzling olive oil. And putting salt. That's it for me. And we'll bake it, and we'll see what happens to this. Okay. So, 20 minutes-ish. Stir the cabbage. Leave it in. Keep your eye on it a little. If the whole house smells like smoke, you've been too long. If there are flames like an inferno, take it out. Alright, I'll see you guys back in 40 minutes. Hi there. Welcome back. Alright. We have our delicious roasted cabbage. And this is what I found. As I was baking this, I went ahead and upped it to 425 because of the potato. Normally I cook it at 400. It cooks great at 425. It also cooks faster at 425. And there's a bone. My dog's rolling around on the floor right now. Try to ignore it. So, I actually cooked the whole, you know, it cooked so fast I put out another pan of cabbage and cooked the entire cabbage. Two things I noticed. Because the cabbage was smaller, normally I crammed the cabbage, like a lot of cabbage in the pan. It was smaller and I cooked it longer, I cooked it on a higher temp. So at 425, your cabbage might be done in 20 minutes if your cookie sheet is not that full. So check it, you know? Check it at 15 instead of 20 if you don't have that much cabbage on your pan. And if you're going to go 425. I recommend run your oven longer. So I'm going to, from now on, I'm going to do it at 425. And I'm going to have a sample here. But you can see how, you know, some of the edges are lovely and roasted. You know, you're not going to roast all of it, but you'll notice edges. Then you flip it over after, you know, 15 minutes in there, and you can flip it over and brown it a little bit more. And let's see how we did. That is good. It's tasty. Have it as a side. Have it with breakfast. Use it instead of pasta if you need to go without grains. So I totally recommend that. Now, my thoughts on this potato thing that I saw. I say this is a complete waste of time and energy to do this. You're trying so hard to slice it and not cut it through. You know, I could bake it longer. It's still not done. I just don't see what the point is. So here's my recommendation. If you want a yummy potato like this, slice your potato slices, stir them in a bowl with coat them with olive oil, and just lay them in on a cookie sheet or in a casserole dish and bake them that way. They'll be cooked quicker, and they will cook better. So I would say to that potato I saw on Facebook, I'd say that's a lousy recipe, personally. No offense to the person who came up with it, but I don't see what the point is of going through, you know, this. And it's like still not cooked, and it's, what's the point? I don't know what the point is. So let's consider our potato dish an epic fail. Well, I hope you had a good time. If you enjoyed this show, I hope you will click like and subscribe to my channel. Then I will let you in on every new video as soon as it's done. Have a great day.